I am so excited to go live again. And my name is Dr. AI. Hold on, I'm just checking everything. Yeah, so if you are here, let me know if you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay. I'm really excited to do another live training for you guys. So since the beginning of this year, I have been going live on a weekly basis every Thursday at 8 p.m. ET zone to come here to share with you something that can really help you to make parenting a little bit easier for you. Okay. So if you have no idea who I am, if this is the first time you hear me speak and watch me, my name is Dr. AI. Very easy to remember, artificial intelligence, right? So I am a professor turned career and life coach. I specifically work with the teenagers and young adults to really help them reclaim their confidence, reclaim their motivation, and help them gain the clarity they need to have real life success. Okay, clarity meaning life direction and career direction. Okay, so I'm really excited to do this training. For those of you, just a quick announcement. If you missed my training from last week, it was so good. I got so many messages from parents, random people on social media telling me how good that training was. So last week, I discussed why change is so hard for teenagers and young adults, specifically positive behavioral change and positive mindset change. Okay, so that is last Thursday. If you want to watch that training, if you missed it, send me a message. Okay, and I will make sure to send the training to you. Okay, so today the topic for today is how to overcome procrastination and reclaim motivation for teenagers and young adults. Okay, and let me just check one more thing and then we are going to dive in. Okay. And make sure. Yes, great. And so we're going to talk about this. As I mentioned, oftentimes I have been doing this work for 20 years. So parents always come to me for three specific challenges. Dr. I, my kid has no confidence. Dr. I, my kid has no motivation. He or she procrastinates on everything. And the third challenge parents come to me is Dr. I, my kid is so lost. They have no idea what they want to do. Okay. So in today's training, I will try to finish in 30 minutes because the last several weeks the trainings were a little bit too long. Okay. So I will share with you three specific ways that you, the parents, can apply at home to help your teenager or young adult reclaim their motivation to overcome procrastination. So we are going to discuss one, two, three specific challenges. I want you to grab a notebook, take notes. This is typically what I share with my paying clients. Okay. And so I don't know how long I'm going to have the content. So definitely take some good notes. And if you are here, join me live. Please interact with me and ask me questions. That is the beauty of joining me live so that you can actually ask me questions. Okay. So let's dive in. Okay. The very first solution to overcome procrastination, help your kid reclaim motivation. This may shock you a little bit because, as I said earlier, right? Parents come to me, they think their kid has a problem, they struggle with motivation. And what I'm going to share with you may disrupt how you think about the problem a little bit, but I think that's exactly why you are here to look at the situation through a different angle. Okay. So, point number one I want to share with you is by the way, I also want to let you know that. And so here, I do have a free live training that actually covered everything I discussed. Allowed to deeper. It is completely free. So you can use the link on the website to check it out. Okay, completely free. And so this is the first point. So listen to this, pay close attention. Your kid does not have a motivation problem. Okay, your kid has a clarity problem. That's the first point. Okay. So not your kid does not have a lack of motivation, but really a lack of clarity. Okay. So when I talk about clarity, I'm talking about clarity on two levels. And first is clarity on who they are. I actually have a slide. So let me share my slide with you. If you, for some reason, couldn't see my slide, please leave me a note. Okay. So that I'm also going to check on my end to make sure that everybody can actually see this. Okay. And so let me check. Yeah. So here is my slide. Okay, here. So what I say is that your kid doesn't have a lack of motivation, but a lack of clarity. So I'm actually talking about clarity on two levels. Okay. So if you can see my slide, the first level of clarity is clarity on who they are. Okay. So that is self-discovery. This is the roadmap that I use in my own coaching program. I'm literally sharing everything with you for free here. So this is our framework. This is how when a student joins my program, I literally walk with them through this process. Okay. So step number one is discovery. This is what I mean, a lack of clarity on who they are. This self-discovery, it is so important. It is something school doesn't really cover. And I also think that sometimes parents, myself included, when I was a student, I thought to have that self-discovery, I only needed to take as many classes as possible, right? So it works only to a certain extent. Why? Because self-discovery, it is an inside-out approach. When you reflect on your own personal learning journey, let me know if you agree with me or not. Everything is an outside-in approach, meaning that your parents are telling you, hey, Jason, listen, do this, do that. When you go to school, your teachers are telling you, take this class, take that class. So everything is throwing at you. Okay, so that is an outside-in approach. But what I discovered is that after literally doing this for 20 years, working with almost 3,000 students. So to really have real life success, this outside in approach is not enough. Very few students, they actually know who they are. But that is not the foundation for success. Why? When you look at most people, working professionals, most people do not enjoy their work. I think a few years ago, Gallup, they did a big study, like they surveyed 1 billion working professionals and discovered 85% of people actually hated their job. Okay. In my mind, hate is a strong word. So they hate it. That is 85%. So that is the result when you are taking a conventional approach. Conventional approach will only give you conventional results, right? So what I do is really like that clarity on who they are. Okay. And then the second clarity is clarity in terms of where they are going, which is the second milestone. Okay. And so that is what I mean by clarity. This is very easy to understand, in fact. So when you think about it, if you are having a road trip, right, you are going to use your smartphone, whatever you are going to use to navigate, right? And when you are using your smartphone, you must enter first where you are, self-discovery, and then, hey, where are you going? That is the future roadmap. So without this self-discovery, without this sense of clarity in terms of, okay, maybe I want to be an engineer and maybe I want to be an artist. Not only that long-term goal, but also clarity in terms of what needs to happen today, this month, this year so that I will become that engineer, okay? So that I will become that artist. Young people really need that sense of clarity so that they can move forward in life with confidence and ease, okay? And I want to share this with you. And this is one of my favorite lines from the scripture. Where there's no vision, the people perish. This is definitely the case for teenagers and young adults, or maybe especially the case for teenagers and young adults. And that is the importance of this clarity, what I just mentioned. So that is my very first point. Your kid doesn't really have a motivation problem, but more so a clarity or a lack of clarity issue. Okay, so that is my first point. So in order to help your kid, okay, I'm going to stop my screen share so that I can see you guys. And so in order to help your kid reclaim their confidence, reclaim their motivation, the very first thing you need to help them is to gain clarity on who they are and gain clarity on where they're going, not just the long-term goal, but also the short-term immediate daily action clarity, so that they know the actions I'm taking is so relevant to my future. Okay. And that's why probably you can relate. If your children are not showing interest in school, they may be telling you, hey, mom or dad, I'm not interested in that class because I don't understand. Why am I learning that? It is not relevant, right? So when it is not relevant, they procrastinate. When it is relevant, again, the clarity in terms of where they're going, that action step. When they see that clarity, when they see that relevance, they're more likely to overcome procrastination. They're more likely to be motivated. Okay. So let me know if this makes sense. That is my very first point. Okay. So let me talk about the okay. So let's talk about the first point. Okay. So the second solution or technique or strategy to help your kid overcome procrastination and reclaim motivation. This one is deep. Okay. This one is really profound. Let me share it here. I think okay, I guess you guys can see the blue color. The second one is so the second one is examine their beliefs. Okay. Let me know if this is a shocker, right? Because we're talking about motivation, procrastination. What has belief to do with motivation and procrastination? Let me tell you, my friend, it has everything to do with reclaiming motivation and overcoming procrastination. Okay. So again, I actually have a framework I want to share with you. So please give me a second and let me share my screen with you. Yeah, so here it is. And so what I'm about to share with you, this is actually something I learned from my own coaches. And what this is, it is called the 4 cycles of success. And let me know if you have ever heard of this concept. And so like, okay, so from belief to potential to action to results. Okay. So what I'm asking to do for the second point is that in order to help your kid reclaim their confidence, reclaim their motivation, overcome procrastination, you must examine the beliefs behind their action or lack of action. Okay. So please allow me to explain why. Most parents, therapists, coaches, they will only be looking at action. For example, my kid is procrastinating and he or she is just doing homework the last minute. and spending hours on social media, spending hours playing video games. It is socially isolating. It is not doing anything, even procrastinating on personal hygiene, not taking a shower, and not washing their clothes, so many things. But all of the examples I shared with you just now, they are at the action level. Okay, so that is what most parents are really concerned about, are really focusing on, because it is easy, right? It is a behavioral manifestation. It is the easiest to be noticed, but that is not enough. That is absolutely not enough. So in my program, and what I do with my students, I do not only look at actions, I actually go a lot deeper to examine the beliefs behind their specific actions or lack of actions. Okay, to really help you understand this, I'm going to give you an example. How many of you have actually heard of this guy, Roger Bannister? So he was the person who did this 4-minute mile run for the first time. Okay, so he was the person who broke the record for this. And before him, everybody here, I actually have a screenshot here. So before he broke the record, everybody thought this was impossible. So here, what I highlighted for you is that not only was running the 4-minute mile impossible, but also dangerous to one's health. Okay, so if that is the belief, going back to this, the 4 cycles of success. So if that is the belief, which is that doing a 4-minute mile run is bad for our health and it is impossible. So if that is the belief, and that belief is not going to help anyone to activate their potential. And if you are not activating your potential, you are not taking massive action. You are going to take an action here, an action there, but you are not all in because you are only utilizing 20% of your potential. And as a result of that, you are not going to have massive results, which then will anchor the belief. See, I told you it is impossible to do the 4-minute mile run. Are you guys understanding this process? But Roger, who's so different, he started with the belief. So he decided to challenge this and he believed this is possible. And as a result of believing this is possible, and then he actually activated his full potential. He tried different types of exercises, this and that. He spent hours and hours working out, working with the coaches, this and that. He tried so much and so many different methods. He did so much. So that belief that he can break the record actually activated his 100% potential. So for anything, if you are like activating 100% of your potential, guess what? You are more likely to take massive action. What happens when you take massive action? You are going to get what you want. And therefore, you are going to again anchor the belief. See, we could do this, right? So that's exactly the process. And as a result of that, to this day, and so 1 month after he did it, and another runner did the same thing within 30 days, right? So it is not so much about our physical ability, but more so about our belief. And so nowadays, this is considered a standard practice. And you see how the belief has changed as a result of this new belief. Hey, this is the standard practice. This new belief is activating 100% potential, which is activating massive action, which is leading to the results, which then reinforce the belief. Okay, so how is this relevant? How is this relevant to helping your kid reclaim their reclaim their motivation and overcome their procrastination. I'm going to give you again, this is an exercise that I do with my students. I definitely don't have time to go through the entire exercise here, but I'll give you a quick example. Okay, so this is a common thing I hear from parents a lot, right? So what is the specific goal? And as I said earlier, right, many kids, they are not sociable, especially the COVID generation. Many kids, they are socially isolating. They're so shy. They don't want to make friends. They don't know how to make friends. They don't really have strong communication skills because why? Everything's happening online. They don't really talk to people anymore. So they don't really know how to make friends. Let's say that this kid or this mom has this goal for a kid, which is, hey, I really want my kid to make more friends and be more social, which I hear a lot, almost on a daily basis. So what's the problem? The action. Okay, I know I have that goal, or my kid has that goal. He or she wants to make more friends, but my kid is not doing any action toward that goal. My kid is so shy, is so afraid of stepping outside his comfort zone. He's just hiding behind the computer, talking to people online, afraid of rejections, all of the above, right? So the bottom line is that your kid is not taking action. So that is where most parents, coaches, therapists stop. They'll be talking about why you're not taking action. You need to take action. Just be confident. You got this. You can do this, right? Kind of the motivation talk. It doesn't really work. What is missing is to examine the belief behind the action. And if I share with you guys some of the beliefs I heard from my students, and that will absolutely break your heart. And this is a common belief that I discovered or I heard in many young people today. Many of them are feeling very ashamed of who they are for whatever reasons. If you know me, I think school is a big factor contributing to our children's lack of confidence. Okay. So going back to what we're talking about here, right? So the actions. So here I forgot the second question. What actions need to take to achieve this outcome, which is actually going out to make friends, right? So here, lack of actions, not taking any action. And so what's the belief? This is a very common belief. I don't deserve to be liked. I don't deserve to be loved. I'm too thin, I'm too short, I'm too tall, I'm too whatever, right? I'm too fat and whatever that comes to the students. And they have that belief about who they are. So if they have that belief, like say that I don't deserve to be loved by anyone. So if that is the belief, that belief is not going to inspire them to activate their potential, meaning that they're making an effort to step outside their comfort zone. They're making an effort to do what feels uncomfortable but necessary to make a friend. They're not doing that. Why? Going back to the belief. They don't believe that. Just like the Roger Bannister. He believed he could break the 4-minute mile run. As a result of that belief, he activated his full potential. If your kid has this belief that I don't deserve to be loved, this kid is not going to activate the potential. And as a result of that, it's not going to activate massive action and then not going to have any result, which means that, oh, I'm so lonely. Look, mom, look, dad, I have no friends. Nobody wants to talk to me. I'm so lonely. And then reinforce the belief again. What is really interesting is that in many of my students, I also do different personality assessments. And for many students, when I look at their personality-wise, they are actually a people person like me, in case you couldn't tell. But then they have that belief, they're just very shy. And can you see the gap? So it is really, so what I do when students join my program is that I really help them first understand the belief that is dictating their lack of action. And then we do something about the belief. We really impact the belief. And this is the part that is very hard to be figured out by the student, the young person, him or herself. And I think even hard for the parents. I mean, it took me many years to develop this skill to help my student unpack that. So don't try to do this by yourself. Try to figure out, how do I help my kid unpack the belief? That may not happen. This is where, you definitely need to seek out professional support to really impact this. But the bottom line is that if you don't take care of this, if you are only looking at the action or the lack of action, your kid is never going to reach the goal that you identified in the beginning, because the goal is not in alignment with the belief, right? So if everybody believes that it is impossible and dangerous if we do the 4-minute mile run. So if that is the belief, right, what I have here, of course, nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to have the result, because that result is not in alignment with the belief. Okay. So I hope I made the point. Let me know if you guys have any question regarding this point. This is such an important point, because I see so many parents, so many coaches, they're only looking at the action, but they are missing, like, I think 60, if not 17% of the real reason why the action is here, or the lack of action is here. Okay. So that is the second reason, or the second approach to help your kid reclaim motivation and overcome procrastination, which is to examine the beliefs behind their lack of action. Pretty good, right? Hope you guys are enjoying this. Okay. Third, the last one is the third point is to create effective systems to help your kid reclaim their motivation and overcome their procrastination. And I will explain to you what this means in a second. Meanwhile, if you are loving everything I'm saying right now, I'm sharing right now, and if you want to have a conversation with me, like, Dr. I, this is amazing. This is exactly what my teenager or young adult is struggling with on a daily basis. I don't have time to figure everything out, have an action plan. I'd love to see how you can help my kid. So if that is the case, and please feel free to schedule a one-on-one free consultation with me. There's absolutely no pressure on the call. I will tell you, every single parent who did the call with me, they have all gained so much clarity regarding their kids' situation. Okay. So that is the link on the screen. Okay. So now let me explain the third point, what I mean by create effective systems. So most of the time when a parent comes to me telling me, hey, Dr. I, my kid is spending hours playing video games, hours on social media, hours doing this and that, things that they are not supposed to do. And you know what? I'm a parent. I totally know what most parents, how they think, because I do think like that sometimes, if not all the time. So when we are seeing all of those destructive patterns in our children, and a very common response is, what's wrong with my kid? We think there's something wrong with our children. We think our kid is broken. And in fact, that is the language. And many of those teenagers and young adults, when they start working with me, and they will tell me, Dr. I'm broken. Please, can you do whatever you can to fix me? If that is what you are thinking, or what your kid is thinking, I actually have something to share with you. Positive news to share with you. Again, please give me a second and let me share my screen. I love supporting everything I'm teaching you guys with specific research, because I want you to know this is not what I think. It is actually based on solid research. I mean, right? And of course, I wouldn't share this with you if I had not tested this on hundreds of students, and I did. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. Okay. So the third point, creating a very effective system. And so I don't know how many of you guys know this guy, James Clear, and how many of you actually read this book. And I actually read this book quite a few years ago, and I recently just revisited the book because of my students. Okay. So when I was revisiting the book, and this paragraph really caught my attention, and I highlighted for you. So here I see what I highlighted for you in blue color. And I will read the first sentence to you, and this will blow your mind away. Okay. So if you are having trouble changing your habits, the problem is not you. The problem is your system. Wow. Powerful. So what this means is that your kid is not broken. And that's what I tell my students when they come to me, Doctor, I'm broken. I cannot stop binge watching, binge video gaming, binge this, binge that. I can't stop eating chocolate, cookies, whatever, stress eating, emotional. And I will tell them, you are not broken. What I'm going to fix is not you, because that's not the problem. The problem is you do not have an effective system that can facilitate change. Okay, so it means, and I want you to stop using this language at home, telling your kid, what's wrong with you? You're so broken. You should be ashamed of yourself, right? So if that is what is happening, again, I'm not saying this to judge you. Trust me, I'm a parent. You should definitely watch the training I did last Thursday. It was so good. It was so good. You should definitely check it out. Okay. So what you do need to say at home, if your kid is really having a hard time stopping their video game addiction, of course, there are so many other things you can do. Like in my program, I have at least 20 different ways to overcome procrastination. What I'm sharing with you today is only 3 out of 20, but those 3 are already very powerful. Okay. So what you need to do if you want to help your kid overcome some procrastination, very bad habits, what you need to do is stop telling your children they are broken. What's wrong with them? There's nothing wrong with them. What is broken is the system that you have implemented at home. Okay. So, for example, for so many years, I tried to stop drinking coffee or now drinking so much coffee. But I guess what? That had never happened. Why? Because we have a very nice coffee machine in the house and makes really good coffee. So if that is literally in front of me, it is not an effective system for me to stop drinking coffee. So if there's no coffee machine in my house, it will be 10 times easier for me to change that habit, right? Let's say that your kid has this screen addiction, video game addiction. But guess what? On their table where they are supposed to study, they have an iPad, they have a computer game set up, they have all the games. They are literally surrounded by all those games. Of course, they are going to play the games. Of course, it is so much more interesting than working on math, working on physics, especially if they have no interest in what they are learning. So you do not have an effective system to facilitate change, right? Which is stopping destructive behavioral patterns. So you need to, right? Like talking about the environment, you need to create an environment in which change is so much easier to happen. And there's literally no computer in this room. This is the room where study happens, right? And like in our family, we have a dinner table, we're like our living room, and we don't really have a TV. So when we have dinner, we do have dinner. Nobody is in front of the TV. Guess what? We don't have a TV in our kitchen. We sit down, we have dinner. But I know if that is not the case, if we do have a TV next to our dinner table, everybody will be looking at the TV screen instead of having a conversation. So that is what this is talking about. So if you are finding that it is very hard for your kid to overcome procrastination, whatever bad habits you want them to overcome, you must try to create an effective system. Okay, again, this is what I do with my own students. Every kid is different. I cannot tell you this is an effective system for every single kid. It is not going to work, right? So, for example, some of my students, they need to do a daily check-in with me. Some of them need an hourly schedule with me, but some of them do not, right? So what I do is that I create a system that works for that particular student. Okay, I can do that because I do one-on-one coaching in my program, so I can literally do that. And I can see once I create an effective system, it is so much easier for them to overcome procrastination, for them to reclaim their motivation. Okay, so I hope this is helpful. And so I want to do a quick summary of what we discussed today. And today we discussed 3 ways to help a teenager and young adult overcome procrastination and reclaim motivation. And number 1 is and understand that your kid does not have a lack of motivation problem, but a lack of clarity problem. Okay, so clarity on who they are and clarity on where they are going. Okay, the second way to help them reclaim motivation, overcome procrastination, is to really examine the beliefs behind their lack of action or specific actions. Okay. Third solution is to really create effective systems that can actually facilitate change. Again, when they are having a hard time changing, it doesn't mean they are broken. They are not broken. And I want you to stop sending that message to your kid. What is broken is the system that they are using to help them change or not to change. So you must examine the systems that you have at home in order to facilitate positive changes, reclaim motivation. Okay. So those are the 3 things I have for you. And I hope this is beneficial to you. As I mentioned, if you are interested in everything I mentioned so far, you are resonating with this, like Dr. I, this sounds amazing. And I'd love to learn more about your approach, how you are working with the teenagers and young adults. What you see on the screen, classroomwithoutwallstraining.com/apply. So that is our calendar link. I think there's a quick questionnaire that you fill out about your kid. Because we do treat those conversations very seriously. And I myself will be talking with you to really understand your kid, their situation. I will give you solutions, recommendations, and free of charge, absolutely no pressure. You are going to learn so much about how to help your kid. And if there's a good fit, of course, we can work together, but there's really no pressure. Okay, so you can do that. And also what I shared earlier, if you want to learn more about, go deeper, and this is our free master class, again, on the screen, classroomwithoutwallstraining.com, where you can watch a 45-minute free master class. It is a pretty good, solid training. Okay. And thank you so much for joining me live. I really appreciate you. And next Thursday, same time, same location, I will be doing another training. So bookmark your calendar, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye.